Today, we're gonna go over a massive situation that just officially dropped regarding a brand new Roblox Plus subscription and an absolutely insane update about photorealistic AI video rendering that is fundamentally changing how the platform operates. We will cover exactly how the new free Robux transfer update actually has a deeply frustrating cast and limits everyone, and then we'll dive into the massive official announcement regarding Roblox Reality, which aims to turn a LEGO game we all know into a high-fidelity AI-generated experience. And we will see exactly how the community is connecting this bizarre AI project directly to the extremely controversial developer paywall that we discussed previously. So we have to break down every single detail so you know exactly what is going on behind the scenes with these massive platform changes. But before we begin, make sure to leave a like and hype this video and help me reach 20,000 subscribers, because that would mean the world to me, guys. And without further ado, let's get into it. Now to begin, we're going to look through the context covered in my previous video so we can fully understand why this new information is so important. So in my last video, we went over the massive situation that was set for April 30th, which was the exact day the platform decided to completely replace the old premium subscription with a brand new Plus subscription. We went over how this new Plus subscription costs $4.99 per month and will later remove the 10% bonus on additional purchases starting in May. We also covered the incredibly divisive update where they introduced a brand new publishing paywall that heavily restricts independent game developers. To publish a game that reaches users of all ages, developers are now forced to complete an ID verification process and maintain an active Plus subscription. This meant that regular independent creators who are just making games for fun after school now have to pay a recurring monthly fee just to reach their main audience. We looked at how intensely divided the community was over this, with some developers absolutely furious but the corporate greed, while others defended a $5 fee as a necessary step for platform safety because they felt it would filter out bad actors. Knowing that developers are being squeezed for money and having their creativity heavily regulated makes these multi-million-dollar corporate AI projects feel completely out of touch with the actual player base who are just trying to survive the new publishing requirements. And now that the update has officially been released, we have to look at the details to see exactly what they're offering. So it turns out they're offering 1 month free and then $4.99 per month after that. And the 1 month free is actually pretty cool for people who want to try it out for the first time, but this is where things take a very frustrating turn, because right below that amazing promise, there is a really huge downside to this. And it states that to keep transfers safe, there are transfer limits of up to 1,000 Robux a month, which are subject to change. And honestly, this is a massive bummer for the entire community. 1,000 Robux barely covers a decent outfit or a few premium developer products, so advertising this as a massive feature feels extremely underwhelming when the cap is set so incredibly low. If you want to pay a developer for their work or send funds to a friend, you are immediately bottlenecked by this arbitrary monthly restriction. And additionally, it notes that parent or caregiver approval is required every single time users under 18 send or receive Robux, which ties directly back into the huge safety updates we discussed previously. While I completely understand the need for safety measures for younger audiences, the incredibly low 1,000 Robux limit combined with all these hurdles just makes the entire Plus subscription feel like a massive letdown for people who are expecting true financial freedom on the platform. It generally feels like they're giving us a massive feature with one hand and immediately restricting it with the other hand. But now, we have to move on to the most insane and deeply concerning part of this entire situation, which revolves around an official announcement based on how Roblox is currently prototyping something called Roblox Reality, which uses real-time video generation for photorealistic gameplay. And looking at the official presentations, they are calling this a hybrid architecture with a massive vision to democratize photorealistic multiplayer gaming. And they shared incredibly technical insight into this internal project, explaining that they want to combine hyperscale multiplayer gaming with actual photorealism under the belief that this is a fundamental shift in how immersive worlds will be created. Now, the way they describe this architecture is that it blends their distributed game engine with edge-based video world models for super sampling. They claim this will empower creators to author interactive worlds with unprecedented visual fidelity without increasing development costs. But when we actually take a step back and look at what they're trying to do here, it becomes extremely clear that this is a completely unnecessary and ridiculous direction for the platform. The post goes incredibly in-depth, comparing video world models to their game engines, and state that video world models excel at generating high-dimensional behaviors, but face specific technical limitations like being incredibly cost-intensive and struggling to achieve high-fidelity real-time performance like 2K resolution at 60 Hz. They admit that these models are not currently multiplayer and struggle with strict rule enforcement, persistent long-term memory, and consistent logic. They even blatantly stated that playing a video world model is not fun because it lacks user input control data. They describe current interactive video models as impressive, but fleeting and incredibly lonely because they lack interactivity, challenge, and anything that makes the game an actual game. And yet, despite listing all these massive fundamental flaws with AI-generated video, they are still pushing forward with this Roblox Reality project. Their massive proposed solution is to split the responsibilities between the game engine and the video world model. They want the game engine to handle the structured logical aspects like long-term memory, symbolic logic, repeatable simulation, and physical operations like collision. So the game engine manages the primary movement of objects like a car and its wheels. And then they want the video world model to layer on additional generative components like beams of water streaming along a windshield and fluttering leaves to deliver breathtaking visuals. They literally summarize it by saying the game engine maintains the shared state data model visual, while the video world model generates a visual dream. And honestly, my personal opinion on this entire photorealistic AI rendering update is that it's literally pointless. The entire charm and fundamental identity of the platform has always been a simply blocky aesthetic that allows absolutely anyone to run the game on a standard phone or tablet or an old laptop. Pushing for 2K resolution at 60Hz using incredibly complex AI video generation feels like a massive waste of resources that completely alienates the core audience. The platform has severe issues with moderation, serviceability, and basic developer support right now, and instead of fixing those fundamental problems, they're pouring so much money into an experimental AI filter that nobody even asked for. It generally feels like corporate executives are chasing trendy tech buzzwords like generative AI and video world models instead of actually listening to what the community and the developers genuinely need to succeed. And it is incredibly clear that the community feels the exact same way when you look at the massive backlash surfacing online. A massive creator named Creepcraft completely went off on Twitter saying that they're going to spend $100 billion creating an AI filter that turns games into real life, only for absolutely nobody to use it because they do not understand who their audience is, and express a lot of exhaustion with gaming communities these days. He perfectly captured the exact frustration that everyone's feeling right now because it proves how out of touch the higher ups actually are. Another user connected this insane AI project right back to the developer paywall we discussed earlier. They outright asked if this is why the platform added a paywall for grading games just to fund this massive AI project, and they question what the platform is even doing at this point, predicting that this entire feature will last exactly 2 months before getting completely discontinued. This is such a valid and deeply concerning point because it generally feels like independent developers are being forced to pay $4.99 a month just so the corporation can fund a massive unnecessary AI reality filter that completely ignores the core block identity of the platform. When you have another user literally yelling that April Fools of all things was literally 4 weeks ago in response to news of this update, and the official RTC account responding that unfortunately they have not learned time travel just yet, you know this situation has reached a point of absolute absurdity. And it's honestly baffling to see an official news account basically admit that the update sounds like a massive joke because the entire concept of rendering the platform into real life video just fundamentally contradicts everything that made the platform successful in the first place. So all in all, this entire situation completely exposes a massive disconnect between the corporate executives running the platform and the actual dedicated community that plays and builds on it every single day. And I strongly believe that prioritizing incredibly expensive and highly experimental AI projects over the fundamental stability and affordability of the platform is a deeply flawed business strategy that will ultimately alienate the very creators who built this community from the ground up. The fact that independent developers are now forced behind a paywall while infinite resources are suddenly poured into an unnecessary photorealistic reality filter shows exactly where the priorities lie right now. So I would really love to hear what you guys think about all of this. Are you actually excited for the AI video rating update, or do you agree that this is a massive waste of resources? Though, I'd already assume you wouldn't even bother with this update like everyone else, but regardless, feel free to leave a comment down below. And before I end this video, I want you guys to make sure to click the like button and like this video and help me get to 20,000 subscribers before next year. And with that being said, thank you all for watching, make sure to stay safe out there, and I'll see you in the next one.